Hey guys, Yugioh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time it is going to be my Endymion, actually 60 card Endymion deck. This is not a very budget deck. There are options of, some budget cards you can do. Most of the money is going to be in the extra deck, so that's obviously pretty easy to change out. But yeah, this is one of the more competitive decks that I like playing, especially right now. I think it's very good almost any way you play Endymion right now. There's there's even like a FTK that you can do with it. Not this version, but there is an FTK version of the deck. But yeah, so I do have another under $25 deck profile coming up here in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. I'm definitely not leaning, swaying more towards meta, expensive decks, but this is just one I'm really liking right now. So yeah, let's get right into it. Start off with playing 3 Servant. It's a card you always want to see in every opening hand. Basically, you're going to place it in your scale, and then each time a spell card is activated, you place a spell counter on this card. And then if it has 3 spell counters, you remove those, and you special summon this card, plus a card you can place a spell counter on from your deck, a monster. Sometimes that's going to be Endymion, because once per turn, when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, you can return one card you control with a spell counter to the hand, and if you do, you negate that activation. So say you have him and this one, they're both going to have a spell counter on them when you special summon off of Servant's effect. And so you can then return this to hand and negate anything, basically. So really, really good card. Also, this deck can generate spell counters very easily. Like I said, it's a 60 card version, so I do have a lot of draw power and just a lot of spell cards that do stuff for you. So this one, its pendulum effect is you can remove 6 spell counters from your field and special summon this card from your pendulum zone. Then count the number of cards you control that can have a spell counter and destroy that many cards on the field, so it's really good that way. So yeah, I've gone back and forth of playing this at 3 even, but I like it at 2. Also played 2 Reflection. It's not seen too often, especially at 2. Most people just play it at 1, but it's a really, really, really good card. It's also a low scale, which helps you out a lot, but this one, each time its pendulum effect is each time a spell card is activated, you place a spell counter on it, and you can remove 3 counters and special summon this card and 1 monster from your hand that you can place spell counter on. So you got quite a few of those, with these and some of the mythical beasts and stuff like that. And then also its monster effect. So if you decide to special summon this card, if this card is special summoned, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and 1 card you control with a spell counter and return that opponent's card to the hand. And then you return the spell counter card to the hand as well. Also play 2 Magister. This one, same thing, it's in the pendulum scale. Each time a spell card is activated, you place a counter on it. And then you can remove 3 and special summon this card and 1 face-up monster from your extra deck that you place spell counter on. So it's really good as well. If you have some cards in your extra deck that you can special summon off of it. Also play the Mythical Beast engine. Play 2 Cerberus, because they can clash, with Servant, because you can't have another card in your other pendulum zone, but they're really good just starters, so I like them. Play 3 Jackal King, because you can also special summon this one off of Servant, so I really like to see it. It's, you're fine seeing it in your hand even to pendulum summon it out. And then play 1 Garuda and 1 Basilisk, just so you have options. This kind of gives you some draw power, and then this is going to destroy spell or trap card on the field. So I like all those. And then for kind of so those are like the main engines of the deck basically. I also really like Magical Abductor. Like I said, this deck can generate spell counters pretty easily. So this card, while it's in the Pendulum Zone, each time a spell card is activated, place another counter on it, and then you can remove 3 and just add 1 Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So any card you want basically in this deck, you can add to your hand off of Abductor. So really, really good card. We also play some turbo cards, Chronograph Sorcerer, and 1 Time Gazer. These, again, just work very well with Servant and Magical Abductor. You have to play these, definitely have to. Same thing with Curtain Raiser. It's just a turbo card. You just control no monsters, and you just special summon this from your Pendulum Zone. So it's just another way of just easily getting a counter. You just place this and then just special summon it. So you got a turbo card and a card to get some counters on stuff. And I still play 3 Dark Worm, just an easy way of again getting a monster on board, and the 1 Gate 0. Another low scale, really, really good. You know, you search it off of Dark Worm. But we play the Guard Dragon engine. I really like that. It's just another option. This deck just has a lot of options, especially in the extra deck. You'll see that when I get to it. So I really like these. They're also level 4s, you know, for making some ranked 4s. So, and then since we're playing Guard Dragons, I like Aether. It's the card you want to be special summoning on your opponent's turn, so that you can target 1 monster on the field and banish it. It's really good. Destrudo, you're usually going to be doing that on using this on your turn, so you can get a monster on board off of LP, and then link away or whatever, get it to the graveyard, and then you can get another monster on board. I don't play any synchros, so we're really not synchroing with it, but it's like I said, basically a way of getting just extenders on the board to rank up or link up into whatever you need. The last 3 monsters we play, kind of spicy ones. One's Zephyr Nui. It's just a super simple way of searching a negate. When you Pendulum summon this card, you can add 1 Zephyr spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and it's Zephyr Divine Strike. That's where you're going to be searching off of it. And this is just so it's basically just a one card negate. If you're special summoning this, you're getting a negate. So really, really good. I play Pot of Desire, so if you banish it, not a big deal. You have other options. And the last 2 monsters we play are 2 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. It's probably the best draw engine in the game because everything just kind of circles around. I play 2 Spellbook of Secrets and the 1 Spellbook of Knowledge. So I like 2, 2, 1. I think it's really, really good that way. You don't really want to see this without any of these, but it happens every now and then, or banishing it off of desires. But yeah, so that's it for the monsters. I'll leave these on there. So continuing with our draw power, 3 Pot of Desires, 3 Allure of Darkness because we play a lot of darks, and the 1 Upstart. Easy side out card. I know we're playing 60 cards, but Magical Abductor and Servant, love this card. It's just free counter basically is what this is saying. For 1,000 life points, you're getting a free counter. Play 3 Spell Power Mastery. That's going to be searching any of your Endymion monsters. Mostly it's going to be Servant, but if you have a Servant, you can always search out any of these guys, whatever you really need. So amazing card. Then now for kind of our field spell group of cards that we play. 2 Secret Village. We play a lot of spellcasters. So this card just states if you control a spellcaster type monster and your opponent does not, your opponent cannot activate spell cards. And if you control no spellcasters, you can activate them, but you're usually going to be controlling a spellcaster. We play 2 Dragon Ravine. You're just going to be discarding a card and then sending, either Dark Worm or Destrudo to the graveyard. So again, just more counters. And then I just played 1 Magical Citadel. It's okay. This is kind of your way of holding spell counters. So it's pretty good. 1 Terraforming to search out any one of those you need, and then 1 Set Rotation. Same thing, it's just going to basically be searching your stuff. 2 Dragon Shrine. Again, same reason as with Dragon Ravine. You're going to be sending either Dark Worm or Destrudo. And then 1 Foolish Burial. And then a little spicy card that we play is Secret Sanctuary. If you can see that, it's kind of hard to see. Secret Sanctuary of the Spellcasters. This one states that when a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, that's not a spellcaster, while you control another face-up spell card and your opponent does not, that monster that they special summoned or normal summoned cannot activate its effects or attack this turn. So it comes up. It's an easy side-out card, if you are playing against another spellcaster deck, like Altergeist or something like that. But otherwise, it does hurt your opponent a lot more than it's going to hurt you. And then you already saw the 1 Divine Strike for the Zephyr Nui. So that is the main deck. Like I said, 60 cards, but you saw all the draw power we have. 60 cards does not hurt you in any way. Now the extra deck, brace yourself. There'll be just a couple expensive ones. I don't go crazy with the expensive ones, but I do have a few important ones that I feel I needed for this deck. Electromite, must have. A lot of times I find that I'm actually sending Zephyr Nui off of Electromite just so I can ensure that I'm going to be special summoning him to search out our Divine Strike. But otherwise, this just gets your engine going, gets you whatever card you need from your deck. Crowley is a really, really good card because we play the Spellbook engine. So if this card is Link Summon, you reveal 3 Spellbook cards with different names from your deck, and your opponent randomly picks one for you to add to your hand, and then you shuffle the rest back into the deck. And it just requires 2 Spellcaster monsters. So yeah, if you want some draw power, you can easily get to it with Crowley. I play Wee Witch. It just requires 2 darks, and your dark monsters gain 500 attack and defense. Pretty good. I like it. Gets you 2 arrows. Play Draco Masters of the Tenyi. You can either play this or Zephyr Metaltron. Zephyr Metaltron is a little more specific because it requires 2 monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. This just requires 2 monsters, including a Link monster. Why I like this one too, it's got 2,600 attacks, so pretty good, but it cannot be destroyed by battle with an effect monster, so it's pretty good. And then this is the most expensive card in the extra deck, but IP Masquerena is so good. You're just going to be using this along with any other monster you have on board to go into Nightmare Unicorn and just target 1 card in the field, return to the deck. So it's just disruption on your opponent's turn. Really, really good combo. I've seen a lot of other people play and, some other targets for it, but I've always found I never want to be summoning any other monster other than Unicorn, because Unicorn's actually going to be doing something good for you. So I like that little combo. Usually you're not going to be making this along with the Guard Dragon combo. You got to kind of choose which one you want to do. So that's what I like about this deck, is you can decide, you know, if you want to go into this combo, you can do that, or if you want to go into the Guard Dragon combo, you can do that. It's kind of up to you, kind of the circumstance. But the Guard Dragon combo is very good, ending on Heretic Seal, and then special summoning that Aether on your opponent's turn to disrupt them. So you're just disrupting your opponent a lot on their turn with this deck. And then whenever I play the Guard Dragons, I like to play Borreload and Star Yugioh, because they're dragons that you can go into, link up into, and Star Yugioh, you know, can just fix some hands. And then play for the ranked 4s, Abyss Dweller and Tornado Dragon. You know, usually you're going into Abyss Dweller, but every now and then it's nice to have that spell trap removal with Tornado Dragon. And then the last cards you play are Odd-Eyes Absolute, and you go from him into Odd-Eyes Vortex for just a super, super good, just negate anything, basically. So yeah, usually, you know, if you can get Metal Electromite, and then you make your Odd-Eyes Absolute, you can take these two, go into the Draco, and then you're going to be special summoning, you know, your Odd-Eyes Vortex to any one of these 3 zones, and you'll still have 2 other zones that you can do something with. So that is the deck, guys. Yeah, like I said, it's not a very budget one. It's honestly mostly because of this card. So you can always, you don't have to play it, because, you know, we play the Guard Dragon combo, which gets you some disruption on your opponent's turn. But yeah, that's the deck. Like I said, I will be coming up with, here in the next few days, another under 25 deck. That is a pretty awesome one. So stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.